Yo, what is up guys, what's going on? DJ Kev here, back at it again with another video, and today we are doing an unboxing and first impression of the Xvive U35, in which I have in this box, which I'll open in just a second. So the Xvive U35 is essentially a device that can make a wired microphone wireless or a speaker wireless. Of course, assuming that they have XLR inputs and outputs. But just as a disclaimer, Xvive did send me this product. However, I will still be super honest in this video and just give you personal reasons of how I would use this product. I get no commission off any of these. So again, I will just be offering my personal opinion on whether this works or doesn't work for a mobile DJ like me. And before we get to unboxing, I just want to get into a little bit of the specs and the pricing. So of course, pricing is the most important thing. So right now on multiple websites and Amazon, this retails at $229.99. Of course, depending on the season, sometimes I do see this product go as low as $199.99. As far as specs, again, this device is completely wireless and battery powered. They claim battery life lasts around 5 hours, though not exactly sure how long it takes to charge when dead. If anyone knows, feel free to comment. So they also claim line of sight is about 100 feet, in which obviously I'm assuming in a perfect scenario where you can directly see your speaker, 0 walls in between, and not in a room of 200 people with cell phones. Though I see that these have a system frequency range that runs 5.8 gigahertz, in which less products do run on this frequency, so that typically means less susceptibility for interference. Now, without further ado, let's get to unboxing. Alright guys, so this is now officially unboxed. Pretty standard things come within this package. Obviously within this box you have your transmitter and your receiver. It does come with a dual charging cable. You have a little pouch to carry this around. You have a warranty card, you have a little product catalog, and you have the manual. So at first glance, obviously they look exactly how they do on the box. So on the side here they have it nice and bold, which is which. Obviously you have your receiver, and on the other side you have your transmitter. And doesn't get much more clear than that. Of course, you have your charging ports on the side as well. So now I'll get more into the buttons on this device. So again, as far as buttons, this is your receiver. You have a power switch here. Thankfully it came pre-charged, and this button underneath, you're able to channel through a few different channels to match up with the transmitter. And yes, it does its own auto scan to try and match the best frequency in order to get less interference. So as far as buttons on the transmitter, you have your mute or power switch. Again, this turns on and officially goes into auto scan to find your receiver. Over here you have your mic or line switch. For your line, that's what you would use for your speaker or DJ controller. And then obviously if you want to use this for a microphone, you switch this up to microphone in order to get some more gain. And again, this button here allows you to toggle through different channels to find the best one that allows for less interference, though again this also auto scans for you anyway, so I would just leave it as is to see if that truly does work best. And obviously the transmitter and the receiver have to be on the same channel in order for these two to work together. Now on the receiver, you do get a nice green light to confirm that the receiver and transmitter are connected. If this were red, then that would mean you would likely have to do some type of troubleshooting because they are not connected. Alright, so now that we are all a little more acquainted, let's find out if these will pass the first try test. We're going to try to make a wired microphone wireless. We will also try to see if this will connect wirelessly from my DJ controller to my speaker. And finally, we will also try to see if I can connect a speaker to another speaker wirelessly. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so here we have a wired microphone. This is the Shure PGA48. And we connected it to our U35 transmitter, powered it on, and we have the receiver in the back of our Rev 7. And it's hard to see, but there is a green light in the reflection of the catalog there, so we are all connected. So without further ado, let's turn this on. We have our microphone turned on. We switch from our line to mic, so let's see what happens. Testing 1 2. 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 Check, check, check. As you guys can hear it, we did pass our first try test. So of course this is great if you want to make a wired microphone wireless and turn it into a little homemade karaoke night system. My fire, the one desire. Alright everybody, so we're down to our next test. We are going to try and make a speaker wireless. So I am going to connect the Xvive U35 to my DJ controller, and that will go into the speaker, and see if we can use one less XLR cable. Let's take a look. Alright, so again, we have our U35 transmitter that is going to go into our main output. We'll power that on in just a second. So now with our receiver, I powered this on. And this will go to the back of our RCF Evox J8, like so. Wait for that to connect. Just have to power this on. We will play with you in a sec. Okay, all connected there. So again, no XLR cables. Let's see if we have a somewhat wireless speaker now. All right, guys, so the Xvive U35s are all connected to the speaker and the DJ controller. Let's take a listen. All right, guys, so as you can hear behind me, the U35s made my speakers wireless. Now, again, I know my speakers are not battery powered, so yes, there is still a wire connected to it. However, I do have a wireless battery powered speaker. So let's try that next. All right, guys, so this time we are going to be using our transmitter, plugging that back into the RCF Evox J8 to the mix out, and then the receiver will be going to my Mackie Thump Go. Let's give it a try. So again, transmitter here. So with the transmitter, I did notice I accidentally had it on mic. I switched it back down to line because again, that's when you want to use your speaker where you don't need as much gain compared to when you're using a microphone. So once again, let's try it out. And then let's walk this over all the way to the other side of the room. Hello, Mackie Thump Go. This will just go into channel 1, like so. Again, all connected. We'll try to see if we could bring this even further away. All right, guys, so I put the Mackie Thump Go in Liv's office. I'm gonna act like this is a little mini makeshift cocktail hour room where I would have the Mackie Thump Go and I have the U35. So obviously we have to turn these knobs up, and then we will go to the other room and try to play some music. All right, everybody, so we are down to our final test. We are going to try to see if we could have a speaker throw sound from this side of the room all the way to the other side of my house. And once again, we hope we can do this without having to throw XLR cables from this side of the room to the other side of the room. Let's try it out. All right, so obviously I hear it in this room. Let's try to walk over to the other side of the room and see how it sounds.
This is how we do. We make a move like a fool while we up in the club. This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do, so show us love.
All right, guys, so as you can hear behind me, it's working. No XLR cables involved. We have a speaker on that side of the room, and on the other side of my house, we have the Mackie Thump Go, all wireless. No wires here with this speaker, all just the Xvive U35. I also wanted to do a little bonus test. I shut the door behind me so that it's not direct line of sight. There's obviously doors in between the signals, but you can still hear the music, so pretty good. Alright guys, so that was my 3 mini field tests that I would use this product for. So now it's just about time to collect all of our thoughts and give you guys my first impression of the Xvive U35. Let's go back upstairs. Alright guys, so first impression, it looks like this product is able to do exactly what it is advertised to do. Now in general, some downsides of wireless products is that you'll truly never know the limitations of a wireless product until it is tried and tested in several different situations. For example, I'm in New Jersey, so there will always be risk for interference with all the satellites and wireless products they use here in the Northeast. But again, just want to keep in mind that this is my first impression and how I was able to see it work out in a pretty controlled environment. Like yes, I tried it in my own house with much less interference, but at least within my mini field test, I was happy to see that this product actually worked. It passed all 3 tests that I tested it for, so I'm actually excited to use this at a real event to hopefully enhance my setup. Pretty soon everything will be wireless. So I do love the fact that I have the option to turn a wired microphone or speaker into a wireless microphone or speaker. Now of course I'm personally okay with cables for now. It gives me less concern about connection issues. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily replace my existing cables in my main setup. I would just use this product to again enhance my setup. For example, I have column speakers. And for anyone else out there that uses column speakers, you know they don't push sound too far out at all. They pretty much push sound out horizontally. And I don't have 2 15-inch speaker tops, but I do have one. And there have definitely been a few events where I wish I could keep my 2 columns near me, but have an additional speaker on the other side of the room to fill the room with more sound. And to think I could do this wirelessly without a 100-foot XLR cable running across the room with yards and yards of gaff tape really helps me believe I could use my column speakers for nearly any size room without me having to reinvest thousands into 2 15-inch speaker tops, especially when it's not too often where I need more out of my column speakers. A more specific example of what I'm trying to explain is that in the winter I always DJ in gymnasiums for basketball games, so this will allow me to create the setup that I just mentioned and have a much more well-balanced sound across the gym. As far as microphone use, as a mobile event DJ, I love knowing that I now have a backup wireless microphone and I can just keep this device in my cable bag where I keep my backup wired microphone anyway, or it could even fit in my laptop bag. And if it's an event where I'm not exactly sure if I'll need a wired or wireless microphone or not, I'll always have this with me anyway. So all, in my opinion, this product really makes my current setup much more versatile and allows me to have less cables to worry about. Shout out to Xvive, I do think a lot of mobile DJs could use this. Anyways, feel free to offer your thoughts down in the comment section below. My name is DJ Kev. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.